Some lawmakers warn tariffs could actually damage the economy of the United States and Mexico, but could the potential short-term pain be worth it over the long haul?
Joining us now is Rachel Bovard, Policy Director at the Conservative Partnership Institute. Hey, Rachel, thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you think he'll actually implement the 5% tariff on Monday if things don't go well tomorrow with the negotiations?
I do think so. He said, and I quote, he's deadly serious about implementing these tariffs. And I think the American people kind of understand. We've been trying to get Mexico to the table on this issue to not only control the flow of migrants, but to crack down on the drug smuggling and the human trafficking at the border for the last 15 to 20 years, and nothing has worked.
Right.
And so this is an effort to get Mexico to the table on these issues.
And Rachel, here's the thing. Look at the money that's involved here. We have imported goods from Mexico to the tune of $346.5 billion. This is just general goods from that country over the last year, and trade was increasing, and really at stake is the USMCA, the new NAFTA between all three countries. People like Senator Grassley, a Republican, are among those who say, hey, you should not link trade and immigration. Your feeling?
Well, look, I will say this about Congress. They've had years to address this issue. Exactly. They've made themselves completely irrelevant to this conversation. And the Trump administration is now the first and last line of defense on the border. So I think you're seeing some creative approaches because no one else is doing anything. And I will say this as well. We take this relationship with a lot of our partners. You know, we see human rights abuses. We slap on sanctions. You know, we take these relationships to a lot of new levels over trade. We've neglected Mexico on this front for decades, which is why we've seen no action on the illegal immigration front. This is now a crisis. You have 2,500 border crossers a day.
I hear you.
And that's up from 700 2 years ago. We got to try something new.
Well, and they're suggesting it could be 1 million by the end of the fiscal year. But, you know, while the president is threatening the 5% tariff effective on Monday and then ratcheting up 5% each month till it hits 25%, 5% essentially is what he's saying, okay, the real cost of illegal immigration to this country is going to cost you 5% a month, Mexico. Is that worth it to you? They've got something they got to, really chew on.
That's right. And I think these tariffs are an effort to get Mexico to suddenly act in their own interest, to control the flow at the border. Again, they have much more generous asylum laws than we do. And we've been trying to get them to align their asylum relationship with us the same way that Canada has with us, the same way that every European Union country does with each other. And that's all we've been asking of Mexico, and they've refused to come to the table to do it. Now we have to ratchet up the pressure to get them to do it because they've refused, and we are at a crisis point. So this is a necessary step, I feel, for the president to take.
How do you feel the rest of the United States feel about this? Is it worth paying a little bit more for your automobiles, even your avocado, or whatever it is that comes from Mexico? Is it worth it?
Well, I think the American people understand the threat that illegal immigration poses to them, not only, through the drug smuggling and human trafficking at the border, but we're seeing incredible costs of illegal immigration. When people don't come here legally, we create a completely permanent underclass that is subsidized by the American taxpayer. So I think they understand the trade-off. Politicians never give voters enough credit for being as smart as they are. And so I think they understand what's going on here, and they're probably going to welcome someone actually trying something new at the border to make Mexico at least play ball on this issue.
Well, and the thing is, too, it's going to be a lot of working with the triangle countries that are below Mexico, but as they come in, they could bolster their border. Does the Mexican government come back behind closed doors on Wednesday and say, listen, we're doing the best we can, we need your help? Or do you believe that they can do this themselves in terms of providing the security in the area? Do they need our men and women in camouflage to help theirs?
I do not think they need boots on the ground from the United States, but I'm sure that we are willing to help them and assist them in simply securing the border between Mexico and Guatemala. It's 500 miles. Right. For context, our border is 2,000 miles. So this is something that can be done. They've been doing it throughout Mexico. There's very dangerous areas of Mexico, but there's very safe areas of Mexico. 40 million tourists visited in 2017. They have control of a lot of parts of their country, which is why they need to be implementing their own asylum laws when it comes to these migrants coming through the United States, through to the United States.
Rachel, the president said they better be ready to offer something tangible. What do they need to come to the table? What can they offer that will please the president?
What I think he's referring to there is something called a safe third country agreement. And it's simply, again, the standard across the European Union, the same agreement we have with Mexico. It simply says, hey, if you're looking for asylum, you claim it in the first safe country that you come across. And for a lot of these migrants from Central America, that's Mexico.
Right.
All right, we'll see where this goes because the market's certainly watching it closely. Rachel Bovard, thanks so much.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you.